Hello, everyone. I'd like to thank you all on behalf of my fellow business consultants. We'd all like to thank you for being here today. Today we want to talk to you about doing business in India. And my name is Monica Sapatucci, and I'll be covering the government. Sammy Siegel will be covering tourism. Emily Kearney will be covering environment. Alexander Summers will be covering ethics. And Erica Turnquest will be covering the economy. So I'd like to go ahead and transition and start. So like I said, my name is Monica Sapatucci. And please hold all questions till the end. My name is Monica Sapatucci, and I'm a global relations consultant. And I'd like to talk to you about registering a business and the central and local government, the state government in India. So starting a business is kind of a long and hard task for India. It has a lot of red tape to cut through, and there's 12 procedures in all, and that's a lot more than the surrounding Southeast Asia area. And it takes 29 days, which is half the amount of time it took in 2005, but it's still a little slower than its area. This is all according to Doing Business by the World Bank. And it's a little more pricey too, to just break ground and get in there. Okay, so this is the basic registration process. So obviously company formation can take however long it takes for that certain company. And then you have to approve your name, get someone to sign a memo for your name, do payments and fees, receive a certificate of incorporation, so you're officially an incorporation in India now, and then you have to get a commencement of business to be done with dealing with registration, and that's just registration under the central government. So the central government regulates a lot of things, but the main things it regulates is sector, and then regulation, and then taxation. Sector regulation is regulation within your industry, and that all depends on your industry. I won't bore you guys by listing that stuff out. India actually had a new policy passed in 1991 where they're trying to become more deregulated, but also to have more bureaucratic efficiency. They also do two different types of main taxes through the central government. They do a business income tax, which is something like we have in America, but they also do a value-added tax, which is a little different. It's it's like a sales tax, only they do only what the retailer profits off of that one item. So it doesn't like add in manufacturing costs and stuff like that. It's just the final retail markup. So it's less money and it's more efficient. All right, so I'm going to talk to you about the state government. As you all know, India is very segmented, and it's always been that way. So the state government is different a little bit in every single area. But they're kind of notorious for being a huge bureaucracy and having inefficiencies. They're trying to fix it, but it's still a little really inefficient. They regulate land, water, and electricity. In India, it's really hard to get land for your business because there are so many people in India, and they also want to make sure that local companies have a chance at competition as well, that they're not completely being taken over by foreign investors. So they're really stringent on letting people get land. But other than that, they are pretty okay with, they're pretty fast with water and they're really fast with electricity. So to conclude, I talked to you guys about starting a business, the central and the state governments, and I'm going to let Sammy take over and talk to you guys a little bit about the tourism in India.
All right, so like Monica said, my name is Sammy Siegel, and I am a tourist guide throughout India, and I will be talking to you about Agra, like Uttar Pradesh, and Mumbai, and New Delhi. So to start off in Agra, the main tourism attraction there is the Taj Mahal, and it is the home for eternal love. And it was built by Shah Jahan in loving memory of his beloved wife, Mumtaz Mahal. The Taj Mahal consists of a number of buildings, such as a mosque, a guest house, and the mausoleum that houses the tombs of Jahan and his wife, Mahal. And there is also a long and beautiful walkway that leads to the main mausoleum, which is built of pure white marble. And also there's 4 waterways that divide the gardens that stand in the front of the Taj Mahal into 4 parts, and then meets in the middle, or meets in a pool in the center of the Taj Mahal. Next, I'll be talking about the places in Mumbai, which are the Sanjay Gandhi National Park and the Elephante Island. The main features in the Sanjay Gandhi National Park are the bright flora, butterflies, wild leopards, temples, and the caves. And to see like the butterflies in the best time is in like between August to November. And in the forest, there's a famous Jain temple called Trimurti, and then the Kanheri caves are protected and archaeological site. And for the Elephante Island, there's mazes of temples that are carved into the basalt rock of the island. And then the artwork represents some of the most impressive temple carving in all India. The temples are thought to have been created between AD 450 and 750. Excuse me. When the island was known as Raharbar, which means places of caves, but then the Portuguese renamed it to Elefante due to the large elephant stone near the shore that collapsed in 1814. Last, I'll be talking about the New Delhi, which was ranked high among the tourist attractions, or the tourist destinations of India. Besides being the capital of the nation, New Delhi and the region surrounding it has played a very important role in the history of India. In New Delhi, the major tourist attraction is the Red Fort, which is one of the most famous historical monuments of India. The red sandstone fort is an imposing structure built by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan, who is better known of creating the Taj Mahal. Excuse me. Red Fort was the center of the city of Shahjahabad, which was built by Shah Jahan in the 17th century. The Red Fort was built from 1638 to 1648. The main building material was red sandstone, while white marble was used for the palaces and other structures in the interior of the fort. So throughout my tourist attraction, I talked to you about like the Taj Mahal in Agra, the Elefante in Mumbai, and the Red Fort in New Delhi. So now I'm going to pass it off to Emily to talk to you about the environment in India.
Thank you, Sammy. And again, my name is Emily Curry, and I am a member of the Environmental Protection Agency. And so currently, India is the 5th largest emitter of greenhouse gases, and so this definitely puts a burden on their environment. And so today I'm going to talk to you about the problems with their water pollution, their air pollution, and what they're doing to fix those issues. So, problems with their water. This is one of their largest problems right now, is they're facing a lack of clean water. And as of right now, only 70% of their water is contaminated. And so they are having problems with pollution and water shortage. The main contributor to this is the coal power plants that they have in India. And these power plants produce at least 30,000 liters of carbon dioxide a year. Not only are the power plants suffering, but also the people. Note that their population is at least 1 billion people, and it's growing. And so with 30% of the water that's clean, it's hard to get enough water to go around to everyone. Another problem that they're having is air pollution. India is known to have the worst air pollution in the entire world. And the contributing factors to this is also the people and the factories. And the factories contribute by using coal, diesel fuel, and petroleum. And they also emit toxins and pesticides as they're producing. And so people contribute by burning fuel, wood, and biomass for heating and cooking purposes. And according to the Guardian Environment Network, over 165 million tons of combustion is released as these byproducts are being used. Another way that people are contributing to air pollution is by the cars and trucks that they use. And by this picture, you can see that their traffic is very congested. And so, because of that, more fuel is burned for every trip they use. And so, what is the government doing about this? Well, to fix the water pollution, they have created the National Water Policy, and in this policy, they require water to be monitored, and they also have sanitation factories set up. To fix the air pollution, they have new air quality standards, which improves gasoline, and it maintains the chemicals that the factories are releasing. And so, just to recap what I talked about the issues with their water pollution, the air pollution, and what the government is doing to help this. And so I'm going to pass this on to Alex, who's going to talk about the ethics.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Alex, and today, I'm a global business professor at St. Edward's University, and today I'm going to talk to you about the ethics in India and compare it to ethics in the United States, as well as proper etiquette in India and the relationship between religion and business in India. So, according to the Journal of Business Ethics, it is more unethical to harm the environment, whereas in the United States it's more unethical to, perform piracy or share insider information or, give gifts and bribery. In India, they rely more on their intuition to make decisions, whereas in the United States, businessmen and women like to analyze the situation before making a decision. Friendship, loyalty, and family are very, very important in India. And in the United States, this issue would be considered a conflict of interest. Also, in India, they make decisions based off of spirituality and religion, whereas people in the United States make decisions based off of what society would think. And in India, the top of the chain and the person in charge is the one who makes all of the decisions, whereas in the United States, we like more of a democratic vote to make a decision. People in India focus more on being socially responsible, and businessmen and women in the United States try to focus more on individual growth. And stakeholders are very important to Indian businesswomen, men and women, because they like to look after the people who actually, rely on their business. Whereas in the United States, we focus more on the shareholders and making sure that the people who are backing us financially are taken care of. So now that I've talked to you a little bit about the ethics in India, I'm going to explain the proper etiquette while doing business in India. According to the Campaign UK, timing is something that is very relaxed in India. If you have a meeting that's supposed to be scheduled at 10, it might not actually take place until about 10:30. So you need to make room in your schedule for this, lack of time. And also payment, just like timing, is very relaxed. So if you're expecting a payment for something, it might not arrive until a few days after the set date. And in India, it is considered, you're supposed to be very hardworking and persistent, and to give something less than that is kind of an insult to them because they're very dedicated to their work. And also, they never make hasty decisions. They always think about what they're doing. And that, again, can also make meetings last longer than they're supposed to. So you need to contribute and add this cushion to your timing to make sure that you give them enough time to come to a decision. And when you're trying to appeal to them, always appeal to their emotions and their heart, because they base all of their decisions off of how they feel about something. So now that you know how to properly do business in India with the etiquette, I'm going to explain how business and religion kind of go together. According to the Journal of World Business, 83% of the population in India is Hindu, 13% is Muslim, and 4% are other religions such as Buddhism and Christianity. Work is one of the 4 ways to salvation according to the Hindu religion. So people in India are very hardworking and put all that they can into their work. Religious holidays also play a very important role in the business schedule, because holidays such as Ramadan, which take a number of days, can slow down the business world. So if you're trying to do business in India, you need to make sure that it's not during these holidays, because work might not be as efficient as it normally is. So now that you know a little bit about the ethics of India and how to properly do business in India with the etiquette and how business and religion correlate together, I'm going to hand it off to Erica, who's going to talk about the economy.
Thank you, Alex. As Alex said, my name is Erica Turnquist, and I'm a global economist, and I also write a column for the Wall Street Journal. Today, I'm here to talk to you about India's economy. So, I'm going to start by talking about India's key position as a leader in the technology industry. And then second of all, I'm going to go on to talk about concerns about India's agriculture. And lastly, I'm going to wrap up with sort of an outlook and an overview about the future of India's economy. Okay, so according to the CIA World Factbook, technology is one of India's largest industries. There are several interesting aspects about this industry. Technology as an industry is a service rather than a product. So whereas some countries export things like oil, textiles, machinery, or things of that nature, India simply provides a service. And because a service, such as technology, can so easily be provided over the web or by telephone, India relies heavily on outsourcing. In fact, in an article written in the Wall Street Journal in 2009, 7 Indian firms were listed among the top 15 technology outsourcing companies in the world. Okay, so now that you have a better idea of what makes India's economy so strong, I'm going to talk about one of its major flaws, which is agriculture. According to a New York Times article, India's population is growing faster than its ability to produce wheat and rice. So poor infrastructure is arguably one of the main reasons why India is struggling with its agriculture. Power is not easily accessible for farmers, so they can't access power to run their machinery, factories, and equipment. Another issue is that the system of roads and highways is inefficient, so farmers can't get their produce to the market to sell it quickly enough. Okay, so now that we've discussed India's economic strengths and weaknesses, let's talk about what the future holds for India's economy. It is no secret that India has a flourishing supply of hard-working, low-cost, highly educated, and English-speaking workers. It should also come as no surprise to you that globalization is becoming a phenomenon. Sure, there are concerns about India's ability to produce enough food to feed their citizens, but this could easily be improved if the government just invests more money in infrastructure and fixes not only their water and electricity supply, like some of our other speakers have spoken about today, but also if they improve their roads and highways. So on the whole, there's plenty of reason to be optimistic about the future of India's economy. So today, the purpose of our presentation was to talk to you about doing business in India. Monica spoke about the government, and she talked to us about the steps required to start a business. Sammy talked about the tourism, and she talked to us about Elephanta Island cave temples. Then Emily spoke to us about the environment and how the water is so heavily polluted in India. Then Alex talked about the ethics, and he contrasted their ethics with the United States. And lastly, I spoke about the economy and how strong India is with their technology and outsourcing. I hope you all have enjoyed our presentations. Does anyone have any questions?